The two big goaltenders from Massena, along with Steve Fountain. But tonight it's going to be Weesay getting a chance. And off the draw, the puck is dumped deep in Indian River territory. Back after it for the Warriors, Justin Pearson trying to flip it. He banks it along the glass, kept in at the point nicely by Massena defenseman Pat Horan. Puck along the boards. There's a battle for it there. Heart check thrown by Jared Bradish. Bradish tries to dig it out and gets double-teamed left side of the net. Getting up with it is Bradish, trying to flip it ahead to Tubolino. It squirts away from him, and it's cleared around the boards by the Warriors. Raiders keep it in. Here's Tubolino in the corner, drops it back to the point. Evan Labarge shot gloved by goaltender Matt Hatfield. He leaves it in the corner for his his defenseman rather, Justin Pearson. Puck stolen away in behind the net by Jared Bradish, trying to center it. Goes back to the point. Here's a shot by Pat Horan. Goes in behind the net. And it's picked up there and dumped right in front. Shot, score! Massena's A.J. Tubolino gets the goal, and the Raiders go up on a score of 1-0. So Tubolino lights the lamp for Massena, and the Raiders score an early one here this evening.
That line of Tubolino, Cameron, and Bradish picked up a lot of points the other night. 6 points, and they start right off here again tonight. Got the puck into Indian River zone, kept the pressure on goaltender. Hatfield had a couple of chances to cover the puck, was unable to do it. The rebound came right out to A.J. Tubolino from about 15 feet out, and he rifled one up over the shoulder of Hatfield.
Off the ensuing face-off, back in the Raiders' zone, but Massena breaks it out of the zone, and down the ice it comes. Here comes Massena forward. Eddie Slade has it knocked away, and back come the Warriors the other way. They'll dump it out to center ice. It trickles back in the Massena zone, rated on Weesay LaFrance, and he's going to leave it for his defenseman Alan Borden. Nice headman pass right up the middle for Borden as the Raiders break it out again. Here comes Massena on the wing. Into the zone it comes. Trying to get by is Eddie Slade. Slade flips it in front. Trent Thomas, quick sharp angle shot. Didn't miss by much. The puck bounces all the way down the boards and back into the Massena zone where Alan Borden goes racing for it. Borden picks it up in his own end, looking to headman to Thomas. It goes by him, bounces out to center ice. Dumped right back in the zone again. In behind the net it goes. There's a battle for the puck in the corner. Trying to pick it up there is Hart. Moves it into the corner, goes in behind the net. Now some Klepex for Indian River. Klepex trying to drop it to Olsen. Olsen centering pass in front. It bounces toward the slot and it's dumped down the ice by the Massena Red Raiders. It's going to come in on net, so no icing as the Raiders make a line change. Back after Justin Pearson. Pearson's headman is knocked away. Raiders trying to put some pressure on here. At the blue line, kept in at the point nicely by Evan Labarge, but his pass intercepted and dumped into the neutral zone. Back after it for Massena, Matt Supernall. Supernall's pass intercepted, and back the other way comes defenseman Robbie Horton for Indian River. He'll dump it in the Massena zone. Raiders look to regroup, move it ahead, out to center ice it goes. A battle for the puck there, and Matt Hatch is knocked off. The puck comes back in the Massena zone. Supernall comes back after it. He goes D-to-D with it, moves it down the right sideline, bouncing around at the Massena line. Supernall's there to back into his own zone. He looks up ice, finally drops it off to Labarge. Labarge looking to hit the man, he does. That's Hadler, takes it across, knocked away though, back out to the neutral zone. Raiders have to get back on side. And there's a delay offside, still a delay offsides, and finally it's going to be the defenseman Horton taking it and dumping it in the Massena zone. That will go far enough for icing, and we have really our first sustained break here in the action. 11:53 left in the first period. On the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard, it's 1-0 Massena.
Raiders jumping out early, 53-second mark, his third of the year. Captain A.J. Tubolino with Patrick Horn picking up the assist.
Here's the face-off. Controlled by Indian River. They dump it down the ice. It will not go far enough for icing as Raider defenseman Patrick Horan races in after it in his own end. Here's Horan moving along the sideboard to the wing. It's Jared Bradish. Bradish, his pass intercepted. Indian River with a backhand. That's wide. Puck in the corner, and it's picked up on the defense by Jacob Whitcup. Here comes Whitcup. Nice headman out to center ice, but it gets away from the Massena forward. Bradish. It's dumped back to the Massena line. Trickles back in the zone. Patrick Horan racing back after it for Massena. Horan out from behind his own net, left side, looks up ice, moves it ahead, doesn't clear the zone. There's a battle for the puck at the blue line. It's kept in there and dumped right on, and Weesay LaFrance is going to hold on for the face-off as Brandon McDonald kept it in at the blue line and got a weak shot off, but I should say LaFrance was there to make the save.
Jacob Whitcup, just a freshman out there, but a nice heads-up play as he rounded the net in his own end, knew that the strong side was shut off looked up the middle and found the center wide open, put the puck right on the tape. Nice heads-up play by number 8, Jacob Whitcup.
Off the face-off, puck inside the Massena zone. In behind the net, it's Evan Labarge looking on the wing. Trying to get it out of the zone to Eddie Slade. The puck dumped again. It goes in on net, and Weese has to make a save. Rebound in behind, picked up by the Raider defense. They tried a headman, kept in. Here's another shot, and another save made by LaFrance. Raiders running around a little in their own end. Finally, they start to move it ahead and out to center ice. Nice move there at the red line. Puck intercepted, though, by Pearson. He'll try to move it and dump it from the red line back in the Massena zone. Puck goes in behind the net. Racing for it there is Joe Curie. Curie taken out of the play by Labarge. Labarge in behind, makes a nice move behind the net, starts out left side. Here's Labarge, steps by the check. He's upended. The puck bouncing free, and it goes into the corner. Trying to get it out of the zone for Massena is Trent Thomas, and finally Labarge has to come back and help out. He'll look on the other wing, and finally it will be Massena moving it out to center ice. Puck goes off the stick of Eddie Slade, and coming way out of his net to cover it up is goaltender Matt Hatfield.
Some of the combinations not affected the Tubolino line intact along with the Trent Thomas line, but Matt Supernall is centering Matt Hatch on one side and Jeremy Hadler on the other. That's a new combination, along with Jared Landing centering Mark Darling and Zeppy O'Gene.
Dan Don out to take the face-off against Matt Supernall. Off the draw, the puck just inside TI zone. There's a battle along the boards, and it squirts free. It's picked up by the defenseman Noseworthy. Knocked away from him. Massena looking to control. It's Hadler. I almost said Bob Hadler. Oh, boy. Back to the point it comes. Puck dumped back in the corner to Hadler. Jeremy has it stolen away, though, and the Warriors break it just out to center ice. Here comes Indian River. Eric Hart into the Massena zone. He wants off. He'll dump in behind the net. Back after it. Massena trying to move it around the boards. And still in the corner. It bounces free, and finally it's picked up by the Raiders, and they'll start it out of their own zone. To the blue line. Did it trickle out to center ice? It does. Here comes Supernaut from the red line. He'll dump as Massena wants to make a change. Puck goes around behind the net. Raiders lead it 1-0. We're in the first period. Out of his own zone is Dan Don, knocked off the puck. Here's a chance for Massena. Nice play by Don. Well, as he was falling down, he poked it away from the Massena forward, Zeppy O'Gene, who was coming right in on net. Puck goes all the way back down the ice into the Massena zone. In behind the net, Labarge ties up his man. Raiders pick up the puck, flip it ahead to the blue line, and out to center ice it comes. Down the ice, here comes a whistle, and we're going to have, I believe, our first penalty of the game?
No, I think it went up in the netting. The puck
it hit the netting, okay.
Great defensive play out there for his first shift to varsity hockey. Number 10 for the Raiders out there. Mark Darling, he came on the ice. Great forechecking job. He played the Indian River defenseman, flattened him. The puck came loose, and Zeppy O'Gene had a great scoring opportunity off that great defensive move by Darling.
Off the face-off. Puck along the boards. Flip to the Massena line. Evan Labarge. And you may have noticed Dan Miller is not here tonight. Miller was sick today. And so that means that Evan Labarge, is he the only experienced defenseman?
He is the...
and he didn't have much experience last year.
Ian Maxwell also is out.
That's right, but he's out with...
He's out with the Tech Prep.
Yeah, so Evan Labarge is the only experienced Massena defenseman here, and like I said, he didn't have a lot, but he's looked good so far tonight. Puck back in the Indian River zone. Want to call him TI. Puck in behind the net. Indian River just trying to move it around, but some good forechecking by Jared Lanning in the corner. He's battling for it. Finally squirts around on the other side to the blue line and out to center ice. Trying to keep it in, Pat Horan, but it got by him. Here comes Indian River, 2-on-1, the shot, and a save on the shoulder made by Weese LaFrance. Raiders try to break it out of the zone. Here's a long headman bounce pass, picked up there. Tubolino gets by one. Here's Tubolino trying to barge his way through the second. He knocks down the defenseman. The puck squirts behind the net, and here comes racing in after it, Kyle Cameron, but it's knocked away from him and out to center ice. Picked up on the defense by Alan Borden. He'll dump it right back inside Indian River territory. Back after it, Brandon McDonald. McDonald flips ahead and out to center ice it goes. Here comes Dan Don with it. Makes a good move at the Massena blue line, but has the puck poke checked away. It'll squirt into the corner. Whitcup back after it. He'll flip it into the right corner. Bouncing around. In behind the net, it'll go up to the other side. Trying to come back for it is Jared Lanning. Or I should say Jared Bradish, wrong Jared. And here's a bounce back behind the net. Now it's Cameron after it in the corner for Massena. Cameron along the boards has it knocked away. But coming back after it is Jacob Whitcup. He'll start out right side, looks on the wing, bounce pass, and out to center ice it goes. It'll roll into the Indian River zone where it's picked up by the Indian River defenseman. And going into the net is A.J. Tubolino, and he knocked it off. He didn't mean to, but I think he's, what is he angling for?
You talk about inexperienced. Talked to Danny Miller's out, Ian Maxwell both out, some varsity experience. The Raiders have a junior, 2 freshmen, and a sophomore out there, and they're starting defensive core tonight. And one of those defensemen is a converted forward, Alan Borden. This is his first year of playing defense, so really inexperienced on the back line.
Trent Thomas to take the face-off for Massena. Off the draw, the puck inside Indian River territory. Squirts in behind the net. It's flipped around the boards by McDonald for Indian River. Coming back to pick it up is forward Spalding. Doesn't clear the zone. It's dumped right back into the corner by the Raiders. Back after it once again, McDonald has it knocked away. The bouncing puck, though, is picked up on the wing by James Olson. Olson moves it to the Massena line. There's a battle there. Finally, it's dumped in the corner. Rips around behind the net. Coming back after it for the Massena Red Raiders, Adam Smith. He'll flip it ahead. Raiders break it out. Here comes Massena down the right wing side. Supernaut following up. Here's Thomas, and he overskated. He would have had a great opportunity. Puck back to the point. Labarge can't keep it in, and down the ice it goes. We have a whistle, and what's the whistle for?
If we've got an icing or an injury here to the, there's something on the ice.
Somebody broke a skate, I believe.
A skate blade, and
yep,
it's right
that's
here.
what it is.
It's a young man coming. We'll pick up his number in a second. He's coming to the locker room right down below us, and he lost a blade.
That's McDonald, their big defenseman, Brandon McDonald.
Brandon McDonald, yes. Number 22 for the Raiders, Trent Thomas. You mentioned, Jerry, a great opportunity as he stole the puck just inside the TI blue line and got in about the hash marks and just lost the puck. But he had a clear breakaway to the goal. But he's a promising youngster. Coach Latham very high on his work ethic, and he's showing us in the first game in a period, he's showing us some good moves.
Absolutely. Face-off back by the Massena line as the draw won by the Raiders, and they'll move it ahead. Picking up the puck at Horan, and he'll just dump. I thought it was from the red line, but apparently not. They're calling that very closely this year. Did you notice that, Coach?
Yes, I did. Very closely. And the officials for tonight, we can give you one, Wayne Humel. We don't know the other young man, but do you recognize him, Jerry?
I'll have to look when he comes. We're incidentally broadcasting from one end in the corner.
We'll, as we get to second, we'll explain, we'll describe our vantage spot here tonight.
Off the face-off, puck sits in front, quick shot, and LaFrance makes the save. Puck along the boards to the blue line. Here's another shot. LaFrance makes that save up into the screen, and we'll have a face-off. We're down to 5:56 left in the first period, and on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard, we have a score of Massena 1 and Indian River no score.
The rink here at Bonnycastle runs basically north and south, and the players' benches are on the west side. We're on the east side, We're on the northwest corner.
Off the face-off, puck side of the net, Raiders control, and up into the screen it goes. Now, there is a screen around pretty much everywhere except the players' benches, and even in front of all the stands.
Yeah, it's a safety screen, so when the puck does go over the glass, it's blowing dead because it hits that screen.
Makes it a little hard to watch the game, though. Off the face-off, puck in behind the net. Here's a cross-ice pass by Curie, but doesn't connect. And the Raiders look to move it ahead to the blue line. It bounces around. And finally, it's Massena trying to move it out to center ice. And they finally do pick it up, make a few moves, and it's out to center ice. Matt Hatch with it, knocked off the puck. There's a battle right in front of the stands between the blue lines. And the puck still bouncing between the blue lines. Finally, it's picked up by the Raiders. And down the ice it goes, Jacob Witka from the red line. Puck in behind the net, Indian River territory. Back after it is Robbie Horton. Massena making line changes. Horton flips it ahead. It's intercepted by the Red Raiders. Mark Darling. Here's Darling flipping it ahead on the wing, and in the zone it goes. Racing in after it. Raiders control. Trying to center it in front. Goes all the way down the ice. That'll be icing against Indian River. 4:50 left in the first period. 1-0 Massena on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
Raiders got that early goal. Since then, I think maybe territorial play, a little the edge to the Warriors. Raiders got to generate some shots. I think they can solve Mr. Hatfield out here, young Mark Hatfield, but they've got to get some pucks on the net.
Darling will take the face-off. And there's a battle in the circle. Where does it go? Bouncing around. Trying to come up with it is Zepi Ogene. He can't. It's clear to the blue line. Evan Labarge nicely keeps it in and dumps it in the corner. Picked up on the Indian River defense. They'll dump it around behind the net. Racing in for it again is Ogene, and this time it bounces off his stick in one of the few areas without netting. That's where it ended up in the stands.
You mentioned some of the players that Coach Latham had to make combination changes on two lines, and these youngsters aren't used to playing with each other even early in the season.
Off the face-off, puck cleared into the circle, picked up there by Indian River's Michael Hayes. Hayes trying to move it ahead, bounces out to the neutral zone. Darling gets a piece of it, and now Massena picking it up and dumping it right back inside Indian River territory. We're going to have a line change here as the Warriors pick it up and look to head man. And they got a man right at the blue line, but he doesn't get it. Finally, it's going to be dumped into the Massena zone. Try to get that hanger right at the blue line, but couldn't connect on it. Now the Massena defenseman is just leveled in behind the net. The puck moves along the boards. Controlled, though, by the Red Raiders. Can't clear the zone, however. Bouncing into the 45. There's a battle for it. Squirts in front of the net, but Massena's going to flip it ahead and out to the neutral zone. Intercepted there, but not back into Massena zone as the Raiders try to get something going here. At the red line, they'll dump it deep inside Indian River territory. Racing in after it, Kyle Cameron. Cameron over skates, and back the other way comes Dan Don for Indian River. He'll dump into the Massena zone, and that's going to go. No, they wave the icing off as the Raiders try to come back and pick it up. Puck in behind the net, bouncing around. They try to get it in front. Here's a shot, and we say LaFrance covers up and holds on for the face-off.
We mentioned Indian River, strong first two lines, not a lot of depth after that. And these first two lines that he's using, Coach Swenson, good size advantage for Indian River versus Massena, especially that first line of Klepex, Olsen, and Spalding. They're big.
Somebody else we haven't mentioned, but who's been out there for Massena is Jared Munson. Munson's been out there as well. So he's had some ice time for the first time in his varsity career. Here's a shot, goes in behind the net. And Evan Labarge digs it out of the corner for Massena, trying to move it along the boards. Here's Labarge looking. And the Raiders finally break, but break a little late, and the puck goes all the way down the ice, but icing is waved off and is picked up by the Indian River defense. They try to move it ahead, intercepted there momentarily by Eddie Slade, but now it slides back out to center ice, dumped right back in the corner, Indian River zone. Justin Pearson for the Warriors along the boards, trying to pinch in. The Raiders can't do it. That was Horan. It comes back out to center ice. Indian River trying to move the puck. There's a battle. Adam Smith throws a check. The puck slides back to the Indian River zone as they try to move it ahead. They're going to dump it to the Massena line, and it's dumped just across the blue line, picked up by the Raiders again and up into the screen. And I think Massena's used to that higher ice at the Massena Arena, and they keep trying to use it, but the screen is out of bounds.
And under a little more duress than they were the other night. After, again, that first shift when Massena had their forecheck going and had the Warriors bottled up. Since then, they've had trouble sustaining a productive forecheck.
Kirby Black out there for Indian River with Tim Booth and Joe Curie. Off the face-off in the Massena zone. Back after it, Jacob Whitcup. He'll flip to his partner. That's Adeline Borden. Borden moving along the boards, has it stolen away. Goes back to Borden. He'll flip it to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Bouncing along the boards, Borden throws a check. The puck squirts free. Hadler momentarily, he'll move it ahead and out to center ice. Borden doing a good job that time, decided to take the man and let Hadler take the puck. Raiders lose it at center ice. Bouncing along to the Massena line. Picked up once again by Borden. He'll bounce it ahead to Hadler. Hadler, nice move. Gets by, but the puck doesn't quite get out of the zone. Here's an opportunity for Massena, but over skating was Matt Hatch, and it's dumped back to the Massena line. Raiders control it there. Jacob Whitcup to Borden. Borden will dump it ahead, but that's too far. And icing will be called against Massena. With 1:59 left in the first period, face-off will move back in Raider territory. A 1-0 Massena lead on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
And that one goal coming early on, as we said, 53-second mark, A.J. Tubolino, his third of the season.
So he and both co-captains with 3 goals at this early juncture. And they're missing the other co-captain tonight, I think, Coach.
Danny Miller, who had an outstanding game the other night.
Off the face. Puck in behind the net. Raiders control. Moving it around the boards. Kyle Cameron with it. Cameron looks up. Has it knocked away. Bouncing in the corner. Klepex circles behind his net. Drops it on the other side. They got a man in front. Shot. Save made. We say LaFrance, and a big one, as all by himself in front of the net was Mike Spalding. He had an hour and a half to shoot it, but fired it right at Weesay. It was in the right spot.
Mike Spalding parked about 15 feet out in front. No one near him, and Klepex dug the puck out, put it right on his tape. Spalding took the shot. LaFrance made the save. Spalding picked up his own rebound and had a second whack at it before LaFrance was able to cover up. But great opportunity for the Warriors.
Off the draw, puck in the circle. Controlled by Indian River. They dump it in behind the net. Spalding moving it. Klepex. Klepex centering pass side of the net. Here's a short side. They bang at it, and again, LaFrance makes the save. So the Raiders having trouble getting the puck out of their own end right now, and a couple of good opportunities for Indian River.
And it's just seems like a physical mismatch down there. That line of Klepex, Olsen, and Spalding, just all three of them big, tall, rangy youngsters, and they tower over the Massena forwards and defense.
Off the faceoff, puck in behind the net. Controlled by the Raiders now, finally. They'll move it along on the right side and out to center ice. Headman pass, bouncing around at the red line, dumped away, and back after it for the Raiders. They try to get something going here, and we have a whistle. I think we have an offsides as Indian River brought it back in offsides.
I think we've had more whistles in this first period here tonight, Jerry, than we had in the entire game against Alex Bay. But again, the netting along the side has a lot to do with that.
Trent Thomas coming out with his line mates now, Eddie Slade and Adam Smith. And they'll face off against Dan Don, Eric Hart, and Nathan Collins for Indian River. 1:12 left in the first period, 1-0 Massena. Off the draw, the bouncer comes into the Massena zone. Picked up there by the Raiders as they move it out. It's Jacob Whitcup. Whitcup, nice move. He's got some room, and offsides will be the call. As Jacob Whitcup made a good move at the blue line, but he forced one of his line mates, actually one of his forwards, offsides.
Excellent move by Jake as he steamed up through the middle and put a nice move on that Indian River defenseman.
Johnny make those moves when he was playing for
definitely.
you?
Oh, those are Pat and Johnny moves right there.
Off the face-off, puck dumped in the Massena zone. Whitcup again. He'll rip it around the boards for forward Slade. Slade moves it ahead. Now center ice, goes by everybody. Trickles inside Indian River territory. And goaltender Matt Hatfield is going to cover up and hold on for the face-off. 48 seconds left in the first period. The draw will be inside Indian River territory. Raiders lead 1-0 on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard.
This line is Slade, Thomas, and Smith. What a night they had the other night. They led the Raiders with 6 points. Slade had 3, Thomas 2, and Smith 1. Very productive night.
Off the face-off. Puck inside Massena, or inside Indian River territory, but they're going to clear it out. Pearson gets by a check, but it's poke checked away. Comes back to the red line. The Warriors trying to move it ahead. There's a hard check thrown along the boards, and the bouncing puck comes all the way back in the Massena zone. Jake Whitcup picks it up there, tries to flip it ahead, didn't get out of the zone, bounces side of the net. Here's a pass, goes across ice, go all the way back to the point to Horton. Horton will dump it in the corner. We're going to have a penalty, and I think it's going to go on Indian River. I may be wrong.
It is.
As finally, no, it is Indian River. You're right, Coach. It looked like they had touched the puck, and now they finally blow the whistle. And it was an interference, or they're going to call it a cross-check, but one of the Massena defensemen was knocked down right in front of the net.
Yeah, it's number 12. I'll pick up his number. I think it's 12 or 13. He's going to the box. 19. I can't read those numbers, but that's Spalding. He cross-checked the Massena forward, or defenseman, right in front of Massena net, and the official right on the spot.
So Raiders have 8 seconds left in the period, and they've got a power play. They were 1 for 2, right?
1 for 2 the other night. That's right.
We'll see what goes here. Dan Don out to take the face off. This will probably about take care of the period if the clock would start.
Well,
and it did start finally.
He probably lost maybe about 3 or 4 seconds. They only ticked 1 second off the clock, but the puck was faced off outside the blue line, got all the way down to the goal line before they blew the whistle on that.
So they'll do it all over again.
And they're not going to adjust.
They're going to move it outside the zone?
He's going to come over and do something on the clock. Yeah, he's just looking to run it down a little bit.
Okay, now it bounces around, and still the clock. There we go. They were late in starting it again, Coach. Maybe this will work for Massena. Here comes Tubolino. Winds up the shot. He fired it high as the buzzer sounds. So that could have worked for Massena.
You bet.
So the Raiders get the only goal early in the period and lead after 1 here at Indian River on a score of 1-0. Massena Red Raider hockey this and Hadler playing the other wing. And dropping back to play the point is Eddie Slade along with Evan LaBarge. Off the draw, the puck dumped in Indian River territory. Tubolino digs it out of the corner. Here's Tubolino back to the point, to LaBarge, back to Tubolino, steps in front to Hadler's shot. I think he hit the side of the net with it, or there may have been a save. It's down at the other end. Hadler digs it out of the corner. Again, Massena using that overload, and boy, they moved that nicely that time. Here's a pass right in front, shot, and it goes wide. Puck to the blue line and out to center ice. We're going to have a 2-on-1 the other way. No! Good play by LaBarge to back up and break it up, and it's dumped right back in Indian River territory. That'll be an icing call, but tell you what, it could have been a 2-on-1.
Well, it was a 2-on-1, Jerry. The Indian River had a 2-on-1. That's the problem when you have a forward playing defense, and young Mr. Slade is a fine-looking prospect. He plays the point on the power play, and he gambled and lost, and Indian River stepped out, and we're on a 2-on-1, and they just lost the puck.
Off the draw, Massena wins the faceoff, and it is Slade with it. He'll flip to LaBarge. Evan is going to leave it for Tubolino. Here comes AJ. Headman pass, Hadler from the red line, knocked away. Raiders try to come back up with it at their blue line. Hadler again has it poke checked away, and it's dumped deep in Massena territory. Again, you got to look for that first pass and make sure it's a good one. LaBarge will leave for Tubolino. He'll start out again. This time the pass is a good one, but the forward couldn't quite handle it, Hadler, so it bounces around at the red line. Finally, it's poked free. Here comes Tubolino. He's got by the defense. Passes in front. Oh, and Kyle Cameron just couldn't put a stick on it. Great play. Cameron in the corner. Picks it up. Flips it. Back it goes to Cameron at the 45. Still about 5 seconds left in the man advantage. In the corner it goes. Now they get the man back. He's slow getting back, but there's a penalty. And who's going to touch the puck? Oh, it's going to be on Indian River. They do touch the puck, but Massena will go right back on the power play. A slashing call against the Warriors.
Slashing call, and just prior to that, a great opportunity. Let's see who's going to pick up that penalty. It is number 11. That's Pearson. That's the guy that got out-muscled a second ago by A.J. Tubolino, who out-muscled Pearson for the puck, slid it across, and Kyle Cameron just couldn't get a stick on it. But Raiders back on the power play and had a couple of good scoring opportunities late in that power play. Let's see what they can do here with this combination. Who we got out there? We've got the
Trent Thomas out there. Cameron stays out there, and Tubolino does as well. So Thomas will move over to play that wing, and we've got Jacob Whitcup at one point along with LaBarge. So we've got two defensemen out there. Off the draw. Here's a shot, but it's blocked. Comes into the circle. There's a battle for it, and the puck just trickles across the blue line out to center ice. Whitcup with it. He'll cross ice to LaBarge. LaBarge headman to Thomas. Thomas has it knocked off his stick, and the puck is picked up by back-checking Dan Don. Don loses, but there's going to be, what, an offsides? Apparently the puck came out and went back in again, so offsides the call. And we're down to 1:10 left in the Massena power play. 13-11 left in the second period. And on the coach's corner scoreboard, it's 1-0 still Massena. It's been 1-0 a long time, Coach.
The Raiders won that last draw. Trent Thomas right in the slot. Didn't get the shot off him. Took a little bit too long. He's got to ratchet that up just a little bit quicker.
Off the face-off, puck in the corner, controlled by Indian River's Horton, who moves it ahead just across the blue line. Blocked there by Tubolino, knocked away from him. It'll go all the way down the ice in the Massena zone. We got a foot race for it. Whitcup gets checked off the puck. The bouncer, though, and Evan LaBarge covering for his partner, comes up with a puck. I'll tell you, LaBarge has impressed me so far in this young season. He'll flip it ahead. Here comes Cameron. Offsides again. As the puck, I should say the players went in before the puck. It looked pretty close to me.
I think he called a high stick.
Oh, is it a high stick?
So Raiders deep in their own end. A long pass. Evan Thomas rink wide up to Kyle Cameron at the far blue line, and it was in the air, and Cameron knocked it out. I thought he got it with his glove, but the referee deemed that he knocked it down with his stick. I do believe that's the call.
Brandon McDonald is finally back. He got his skate blade fixed. He's going to stay out there.
Number 24 out there.
Raiders with a power play. He's got a brand new skate. They had to go out and buy a skate for him. My wife says there's still a price tag on it. Off the face-off, Raiders LaBarge looks for the 45, and it's knocked away from the Massena forward, but now he'll backhand it into the Indian River zone. They're going to wave the icing off. Down to about 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Controlled by Indian River in their own zone. Klepes can't clear the zone. Kept in by the Raiders, bouncing around, now trickles out to center ice. We got a foot race for it, and getting back is Jake Whitcup. Whitcup circles to the left side. He'll flip on the wing. Nice headman pass. Here comes Massena, trying to get down is Eddie Slade, but his poke checked away. And with 2 seconds left, it'll trickle into the Massena zone. That'll take care of the power play. So Raiders coming up empty on both power plays, not without a couple of good chances. Here comes Massena back the other way. Into the zone, and the shot by the Raiders goes wide. The rebound bouncing around side of the net. Massena trying to put some pressure on. Here's a chance in front. They fire it, but it doesn't get through. Good opportunity for Bradish, but now it's going to be Indian River dumping to the Massena line. Back to pick it up for the Raiders is Patrick Horan. Horan has it poke checked away. A little late in getting rid of it. He has to go and tie up his man in the corner. And now a hard check thrown, whistle blows, and they're going to call the play and face it off.
Jared Bradish involved in 2 plays. One, a great pass, kind of dipsy-doodle behind the back pass that he sprung line mate away. And then just a second ago, Adam Smith, a great pass to Bradish on that far side.
Face off inside Massena territory. Matt Supernaw to take the draw. He wins it. Here come the Raiders trying to break out of there. Matt Hatch has it poked away. Comes back in the corner for Patrick Horan. Horan will flip over on the other side to Alan Borden. Borden comes up right side. He's got some room. He's going to skate it ahead. Good heads-up play. Takes it across the red line. Headman pass. Oh, and he almost got it across to Hatch, but it was poke-checked away. Borden showing some finesse there for the youngster. Now the puck dumped back in the Massena zone. That is waved off again for icing. Went far enough, but they waved it off. Here come the Raiders again. To the blue line. Out to center ice. Hadler poke-checks it into the Warrior territory where they'll pick it up. Justin Pearson flips it ahead. It's knocked down by Borden again. He gloves it ahead. And it's intercepted there at the red line. Bouncing around. Who's got it? Supernal flips it ahead. Into the zone it goes. Warriors. Another penalty will be called as the Massena forward Hatch was upended by Justin Pearson. And Pearson will go to the box again.
Third penalty in a row for the Warriors, and they've all been of the chippy variety, kinds of, the hook, the cross-check, things like that, drive coaches crazy. You mentioned Alan Borden, a converted forward, first-year back playing defense, had a great shift out there. A couple of nice rushes, showed you his, while he was a forward, he just zipped his way up through that neutral zone, and a couple of great passes, rink-wide passes in that neutral zone, hit his teammate right on the tape.
Well, you've got to give these youngsters a chance to get acclimated. Let's face it, moving up to varsity is a big step, no matter how good you are.
Exactly, there's no question about it. You could be the kingfish in a small pond, but when you get up to varsity, there's a lot of big fish up here.
Yeah, that's right. All right, the Raiders back on the power play. A.J. Tubolino wins the face-off to Hadler, who dumps it side of the net. It's going to be covered up by the goaltender, Matt Hatfield, as waiting there was Kyle Cameron. Face-off will be to the right side of Hatfield, inside Indian River territory. Raiders lead 1-0. Early goal in the game, and so far that's been it. Raiders on the power play. Tubolino this time does not win, but throws a hard check, and Hadler picks up the puck. Hadler battling for it in the corner. He still got it. Has it knocked away. Comes back to the blue line. Kept in momentarily, but then it bounces out to center ice as the Raider defenseman sprawled to keep it in, but couldn't quite do it. That was Eddie Slade. Back the other way. Tubolino knocked away from him. Comes in the corner. Labarge circles. Headman pass Tubolino. Tubolino skates it to the red line. Gets upended. The puck bouncing around right at the blue line. Raiders have to wait to get on sides, and Slade does that. Finally, he'll dump it right on, and goaltender Matt Hetfield will cover up and hold on for the faceoff.
That's the Raiders' unofficially third shot of the period, and that was a 65-footer that was just dumped in, and the one prior to that just rolled in at about half a mile an hour. So neither club generating a lot of offense, but the Raiders have the power play, and they should be getting more chances, more shots on goal than what they are.
I think we're playing running time now because the clock is running.
I'll tell you, the guy in that over the penalty timekeeper and the scoreboard operator are having some problems.
I think they're going to have to put some more time on the clock because the 7 or 8 seconds bounced off. And let's see what they go. They're 10-13 left in the period. Now it's running again. 10-10, 10-9. And
well, maybe he didn't start it before. That's why he's starting to run it down. He has a very slow trigger finger.
All right, off the face-off. Puck at the blue line, kept in momentarily, still in the zone. And it's still in the zone as Tubolino makes a good play, takes it in the corner. Centering pass in front, deflected right on. And I think it's in the mesh.
Heads up play, Tubolino going to the corner, digging the puck out, and Kyle Cameron going to net hard. And Tubolino knew that. He just turned and spun and threw the puck in front. And Cameron, nice job.
Tubolino wins the draw. Here's the shot, Hadler. It's blocked. And out to center ice it comes. Hard check thrown there by Eddie Slade. The puck slides into the Massena zone in behind the net. Evan Labarge with it. Labarge looking on the wing. Goes ahead to Tubolino. Tubolino's pass bounces off a couple of legs. Hadler will chase it down, take it across on the right side. Hadler has it knocked away to the blue line. Labarge keeps it in, flips it in the corner. There's a battle along the boards. It goes in behind the net, bouncing in front. Cameron takes a whack at it. It goes in the corner to Hadler. Hadler at the 45, back to the point. Labarge, he'll go back to the 45. Here's the bouncing puck side of the net, and it goes wide into the corner again. Picked up there by Cameron, who'll go back to the point. Nice job to keep it in by Slade, but then he has the pass intercepted, and the puck is dumped down the ice. And that'll take care of the power play, and the puck goes in behind in the Massena zone. They got a man in front. Here's the shot, fired wide, the rebound. Weesay makes a huge save. All of a sudden, it was 2-on-0, and the Warriors just couldn't get the good shot off. I'm not sure where Massena was.
They were making a line change.
Ooh.
That was a horrible line change. The puck was iced down. It wasn't icing because they were a man short. The Indian River player beat our lone player to the puck, threw it out in front, and there was not one, but two white shirts, and the closest player was Raider player was about 90 feet away at the bench. That was a bad line change.
Oh boy, here's a shot right on off the faceoff. And the Indian River forward, who is Mike Spaulding, took an extra shot at Weesay on the way by, and Massena defense took exception to that.
And give Weesay credit because the Warriors did have an opportunity, a shot or two in that sequence. He was down, but he was able to get back up and cover it on the short side.
Off the draw, puck goes in behind the net. And the Raiders will pick it up and start to move it out. Patrick Horan to the blue line, not out of the zone, dumped in behind. Here's an opportunity for Indian River. Got a man coming in from the point, but it's knocked away, and the Raiders break back the other way. Trent Thomas in on the right wing side, fakes the shot, tries to slide it through. He's knocked down, and the puck goes in the corner. Picked up on the defense, flipped around by Robbie Horton. Bouncing pass, back to the blue line, out to center ice. Raiders back after it. Horan, or I should say, Jacob Whitcup flips it around and bounces up into the Massena bench. So we'll have another face-off. 8:26 remaining. Second period. Raiders still lead 1-0 on the Coach's Corner scoreboard.
If you would have asked me before the game, if you played a period and a half, there'd only been one goal scored, I would have said no way. But that's what we have. 1-0 Raiders.
Face-off. Bouncing in the neutral zone. Comes back to the Massena line. Picked up there and dumped ahead by the Massena defenseman, who is Jared Munson. Munson flips it to Labarge. Labarge, who's getting plenty of ice time tonight, dumps it into Indian River territory. Bouncing puck along the boards, kept in by Munson. Munson whacks at it, flips it free, bounces along the 45. There's a battle for it. Raiders pick it up. Here's the shot in behind the net. And that shot taken by Mark Darling. Comes back to Darling, who's back at the point now. His pass intercepted. It trickles just across the blue line. Picked up by Munson again. He'll dump it in the zone. Nice job by this line from Massena, keeping some pressure on.
They're hustling.
But there's going to be a penalty behind the play, and I didn't see it.
Well, I think it's going to be 24. Yes, it is. What happened, Jerry? He got hit by number 10, a nice legal check. That's Mark Darling, and he took exception. Darling knocked him off his feet, and he's about a foot shorter than McDonald, and McDonald turned around, retaliated, and cross-checked him, and right in front of the official. So the Raiders are going to go back on the power play. This is what's held, 3 in a row, 4 in a row, actually. One at the end of the first period, and 3 here in the second.
Off the face-off. Raiders win the draw, back to the point. Here's Slade with it. Slade dumps it to the 45. Massena controls. Here's the pass in behind the net for Kyle Cameron. Cameron is back there. He's got Tubolino with him as they set it up in the 45. Back to Cameron in the corner. Cameron skates, centering pass in front. The bouncer goes in behind the net, and pinched in was Slade, and he couldn't get a stick on it. He's got the puck at the circle. His shot up over the net. Boy, he got a little bit on that one. Puck bouncing around, dumped in behind the net. Here's a shot short side. And the whistle blows. No, it didn't blow. They just waved because there was not a goal. Kept in at the point momentarily, and out to center ice it goes. And it's dumped down the ice by Indian River. Weesay LaFrance flips it ahead. Coming back is Slade. He'll leave it. And the puck bouncing on the 45 to Hadler. Hadler's headman pass is knocked away. And Jacob Whitcup has to come back for it. Here comes Whitcup circling behind his own net. Raiders got to be sure of those passes. Whitcup's headman, and it's intercepted. Trying to go to Cameron, knocked back in the Massena zone. In behind the net is Whitcup with it. Whitcup gets it behind, gets tied up. Now the Raiders double team, but the Warrior player trying to get free, and that is Dan Don, but the Raiders finally break out. It's Tubolino. Here comes Tubolino, building up the head of steam. Tubolino takes it down the middle, cuts across the middle. He's knocked off the puck at the last second, runs into the goaltender, and I think he's going to be called.
Yes, he is. There's no question. A.J. Tubolino is going to get a penalty for charging the Indian River goaltender, who Mark Hatfield is in a little bit of discomfort, helmet off and skating around.
Well,
but
Yeah, there's going to be a penalty.
Roughing, I'm sure. It's going to be a roughing call.
Tubolino went over to the bench, but he's going to serve the penalty. And they protect the goaltenders.
Well, yeah, and there's no question. A great rush by A.J. He went for 190 feet through a couple of players, split the defense, lost the puck at the last second, and the goaltender turned to go behind the net to get the puck, and A.J. just ran him.
So Tubolino roughing the call, and you were correct, Coach. So now the Indian River Warriors are on the power play. They're first of the night. So the Raiders looking to kill. And it's bouncing around at center ice and finally dumped down the ice by Alan Borden. Indian River picking it up. 5:57 and counting. Raiders lead 1-0. Puck sits in front of the Indian River net. They'll finally dump it ahead to the blue line. And still not out of the zone as the Raiders doing a pretty good job here putting pressure on and stopping that first pass. Indian River with the puck in their own end. Coming back is Kleepes trying to move it ahead. Finally, he does get the pass, and the Warriors move it to the red line, and into the Massena zone it goes. Puck along the boards, bouncing to Kleepes. He flips it into the corner. Picked up by Supernaw. Does he clear the zone? Not quite. Kept in at the point. Here is the pass over to the 45. Indian River on the power play. Back to the point it goes. Here's a shot through traffic. Wissé LaFrance makes the save. Saw it all the way. Puck in the corner. Digging it out of the corner, Olsen. Olsen has it knocked away by the Massena defenseman. That's Labarge, but it goes back to the point. Here's the puck. Horton, shot, goes wide. Puck around the boards on the other side. It'll go all the way out to center ice, and Horton has to go back after it. I keep wanting to say Horton, here's a who. Puck at the neutral zone. Dumped into the Massena zone behind the net with about 3 seconds left of the man advantage. Nice job by Labarge. Steps by the check. Here's Labarge looking. He dumps it to the blue line. Not out of the zone. Bouncing in front. Here's the backhander knocked away. Knocked away again. It'll go into the corner. Bouncing free. Around the boards it goes. Picked up by the Warriors. Here's a sharp angle shot. And LaFrance is there to make the save on the edge of the blue ice. And he'll hold on for the faceoff. So the Raiders weather the storm on the power play and still hold on to that 1-0 lead.
A little different wrinkle to their kill this year. They pressure down low. They meaning the Raiders in their own end. They're aggressive down low, but not up high. They kind of collapse that box back in towards their top of that box back towards their goaltender. So that gives the offensive defenseman a lot of time out there.
Trent Thomas takes the faceoff. Puck goes in the corner off the draw. It's a battle there. Coming up with it is Hart. Hart flips it, gets the pass back, but it's knocked away, and the Raiders break back the other way. Jared Lanning, he's got some room. Centering pass goes behind the other forward. Back to the point. Kept in by Whitcup, bounces in front. The goaltender plays it, loses. Shot, where's the puck? It's in the net. And getting the goal is Eddie Slade as the goaltender came out to play it and lost it. And the Raiders take a 2-0 lead.
Eddie Slade gets the goal, but the guy that made it all work is number 21, Jared Lanning, with some great forechecking out there. And he caused the disruption in that made the Indian River team turn that puck over. And it came right out to Eddie Slade with the goaltender 15 feet out of the net. But Jared Lanning, number 21, is going to get an assist, and I tell you, he was instrumental. And Eddie got the goal, and you and I could have put that one in because it wasn't a goaltender around, and Eddie was about 8 feet out in front. But
maybe you could have.
Raiders go up 2-0 here with 4:10 left in the second period.
So Eddie Slade with the Massena second goal here as the Raiders lead 2-0 on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. Off the draw, Thomas with it has it knocked away, and it's dumped in the Massena zone. After it, the Raiders come up with it. That's Pat Horan. Horan flips it in behind for his partner, Jacob Whitcup. Whitcup battles through a check and comes up with a puck. Here's Whitcup, lost it in front. Puck bouncing into the corner, goes back to the point. Here's the shot, deflected wide. Puck goes back to the other point. They'll dump it in the corner again. After it, Horan knocked away by Whitcup. Good play by Jacob Whitcup. Now the puck still in the zone, bouncing around. It'll come around the boards. And trying to come up with it is Lanning. Lanning has it bounce away. Now he's got it. Jared Lanning flips it ahead to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Comes to Horan. Might be a good time to ice the puck. Well, now he's got some room as they're making a change. And the Raiders will clear it out to center ice. And they try to move it ahead, but it's knocked away at the red line. Puck bouncing into the Massena zone. Taking it across is Collins. He's checked out of the play, then Massena loses the puck. In behind the net, around the horn they go. Here's a shot bouncing wide. Horan in the corner, can't come up with a puck. Warriors putting pressure on. Raiders just trying to tie it up. Puck in behind, picked up by Hart. Hart's got room behind. Looking, centers in front. Here's a chance. The shot bounces in the slot. Cleared to the blue line. Here's a shot from the blue line. Goes wide behind the net. Puck bouncing in the corner. Raiders just running around. They need a whistle here, Coach.
Big time.
Now the puck along the boards. Whitcup ties up his man. That's Horan, rather. Now there's a battle. The whistle blows, and the Raiders get the whistle they need. Oh, boy, Indian River putting on all kinds of pressure.
And Patrick Horn, out of exhaustion, and also realizing that they do need a whistle, got a quick whistle from the official when he put his skate to the puck in the corner. But they were running around, had numerous chances to ice it, and just for one reason or the other couldn't.
Or decided not to. I'm not sure which, but nonetheless, it's Tubolino out to take the face-off against Spalding now in the Massena zone. 2-0 Raiders lead, but it's been a hard-fought game. To the blue line. Here's a shot knocked down. Doesn't get through. Picked up by Massena. And out to center ice it goes. Alan Borden banks it off the boards, and no icing as the puck is gotten to by the defenseman. Back to the point. Here's a shot bouncing in behind the net. The rebound comes free in the corner. Racing for it there, the Raiders' Jared Bradish. Bradish moves it back to the blue line. There's a battle right at the blue line for the puck, and it squirts free. Picked up there and dumped right back in by Alan Borden. Now dumped down the ice. That'll be icing against the Warriors. And with 2:03 left in the second period, the Raiders hold on to a 2-0 lead.
And that second Raider goal coming at the 10:50 mark of the second period is second of the year. Eddie Slade with Jared Lanning and Trent Thomas picking up the assist, and some great work out there by Lanning as he created all kinds of havoc to force the Warriors to turn that puck over and gave Eddie Slade the opportunity.
Matt Supernaud takes the face-off. The puck bounces into the corner, and it's controlled by Indian River as they start to move it ahead out to center ice. And couple of nice moves there at the blue line. Here's the shot, gloved by Wissé LaFrance. And coming across it was their big defenseman, Brandon McDonald. He got a nice shot off.
I tell you, that was a D1 college shot right there. That had a lot of muster from about 40 feet out. He ripped a wrist shot, and Wissé had to be really sharp. That was labeled for the top left-hand corner. Good glove by Wissé LaFrance.
Face-off inside Massena territory. Trent Thomas to take the draw for the Raiders. Bouncing puck. Bouncing, kicked, bounces into the corner. Finally, it's picked up by the Raiders. They'll just move it ahead of the blue line and out to center ice. That was Adam Smith. Knocked away from him. Horan picks it up. His pass just clears the blue line. Thomas gets a piece of it. Knocked away and dumped right on. LaFrance makes the stop from center ice. He'll leave it for Evan LaBarge. LaBarge makes a nice little move, moves it down the sideline. Does not clear the zone, however. No, can't quite get it out of the zone. Here's a shot deflected right on. LaFrance makes a good save. Don't think he saw it, but he made the save as he was in the right place. Puck still in behind the net. Raiders trying to come up with it. They do. Here's Evan LaBarge. Flips it down the sideline. No, it's blocked. He can't clear the zone. And puck in behind. There's a battle for it as the Indian River player falls down on top of it. And the whistle will blow for the face-off.
Raiders caught a break there, turned it over high at their blue line, and the Indian River defenseman jumped on it, fired a real tough shot, and parked in front was number 22, Scott Klepex, and he redirected it over the top of the net. I'll tell you, you mentioned Wissé never saw that shot.
I think Wissé got a piece of it, actually, yeah. But nevertheless, he didn't see it. No, I think he happened to be in the right spot. Raiders break it out of there. Here's an opportunity for Massena. As they take it across, here's the shot taken by Lanning, goes in behind the net. Bouncing in the corner. Darling throws a check. The puck comes free to Zepi Ogene. Ogene centers. Here's Lanning's shot, and he just didn't get it off in time. As coming back to block it was Horton. Comes back to the other point. Jacob Whitcup goes to the other point. Here's a shot by Alan Borden, doesn't get through, and the puck bouncing into the corner. 30 seconds left in the third period. The puck trickles to the blue line. It's going to make it out to center ice. Raiders Whitcup dumps it right back in Indian River territory. Bouncing in behind the net and around the boards. Whitcup pinches in, but the puck gets by him out to center ice. But right there is Borden to flip it back in. Delay off sides, and the puck controlled by Indian River with about 12 seconds left in the period. Not out of the zone. Here's Massena with an opportunity in front. Oh, beautiful pass. Here's a chance. Darling scores! Oh, my goodness. What a great pass from Massena's Jared Lanning as he sets up his second beauty. And Mark Darling is right there all by himself. Beats the goaltender high to the stick side. And the Raiders go up 3-0. What a beauty.
That was a beauty. Two youngsters that weren't in the lineup the other night. Jared Lanning, his second great play in a row as he found himself possessed the puck to the right of the goaltender near the dot, and he drew the defenseman to him, and then just a little backhand pass right to number 10, Mark Darling, from about 15 feet out, and Darling made no mistake as he wristed a bullet up over the right shoulder of Hatfield.
And
Beautiful.
we're down to a second left in the period. That goes off the clock, and the Raiders come up with a huge goal with a couple of seconds left in the period and take a 3-0 lead over the Indian River Warriors.
No harm in taking an icing when you're under pressure like that, and they just don't want to take any foolish penalties this period and make sure that they don't get caught give up too many odd man rushes, if any.
And we're underway, and here comes Massena right off the faceoff. Tubolino's shot, he fires it wide. Puck goes all the way back to the point. Whitcup, or I should say Horan keeps it in. Now it bounces out, but right back across the blue line. Tubolino can't come up with a puck, and it's out to center ice. Here's a race for it. Who's going to get there? The Warriors get there, and Labarge comes back and makes a great play and gets knocked down. Now the puck bounces free. Here's Tubolino with it. Flips it ahead to the blue line, not out of the zone. Now he follows up and gets it out. Headman pass across the blue line. It comes. Here's Bradish with a nice drop pass. The shot. Cameron fired it wide. Puck bouncing into the corner. We have a whistle. We've got a penalty against Indian River, I think. Again, I didn't see it. It was behind the play and a cross-check against, that's going to be Mike Spaulding.
That's his second cross-checking penalty of the evening. And the Raiders, we just got no sooner said it, don't give up too many odd man rushes, and they did. And a great play by Evan Labarge to thwart a golden scoring opportunity by the Indian River Warriors.
It was a situation where the Raiders kind of got caught up in the offense and forgot the defense.
Got four guys trapped up inside the dot.
Raiders on the power play have not been very successful here this evening, and they lose the face-off, and the puck goes all the way back in the Massena zone. And if the Raiders don't get back, there's a man in front of the net, and they do lose the puck, but it bounces into the corner. Here's an opportunity for the Warriors. They'll dump it in behind. And finally, it's going to come to Jacob Whitcup. Indian River putting on a very tenacious forecheck here, trying to meet Massena at the red line. Massena dumps it from outside the red line. That'll be icing against the Raiders.
Raiders going from our right to the left. They're going from the south end to the north end, and Indian River goaltender Hatfield defending the goal right down in front of us, and the Warriors wearing their home white trimmed with powder blue and black. Raiders in their traveling red trimmed with white and blue.
Face off back inside Massena territory. Tubolino back out there to take the draw. He wins it into the corner. And it's still behind the Massena net. And again, a very tough forecheck being put on here by Indian River. Here comes Tubolino. He loses it at the blue line, but it's knocked away, fortunately for Massena. And finally, it's dumped to the Indian River line, dumped right back in the Massena zone. And back after it for the Raiders is Evan Labarge. 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Raiders haven't even had it at this end, I don't think. Comes to Hadler. Hadler along the boards, drops it back. Right wing pass. Finally, it's deflected inside Indian River territory. Picked up there by Pearson. Flips it around the boards. Pinching in and keeping it in at the 45. There's a battle right there, and the whistle blows. And I'll tell you, another difference I've noticed in the officials this year is they don't let them battle at all along the boards. They blow the whistle immediately.
Whistles, yep. And the face-off will be deep in the Indian River end to the left of goaltender Hatfield, Mike Hatfield.
3-0. Raiders lead it on the IceHawks custom screen printing scoreboard. And we're down to 13 seconds left in the man advantage. Trent Thomas will take the face-off against Don. Into the corner it goes, controlled by the big defenseman, McDonald. McDonald flips it. Down the ice it goes with 4 seconds left in the man advantage. We say LaFrance will leave it for his defenseman, Jake Whitcup. And the penalties elapse, so the Raiders really do nothing on that power play. Ahead to Supernaut. He has it knocked away. It goes in on Weesay. He'll stop it and flip it around on the other side. Not out of the zone yet. Here's another shot. Bounces in behind the net. Comes back toward the blue line. In the corner. They flip it along the boards. Goes bouncing in behind. Controlled by Indian River in the Massena zone. They center it in front. But it goes bouncing away off a stick. And finally out to center ice. Dump back into the Massena zone. It'll trickle in on LaFrance. He'll leave it for his defenseman, Munson. Munson trying to flip it ahead. Doesn't clear the zone. Trent Thomas comes back for it. He'll take it and try to go around the other way. It's just deflected to the blue line and out to center ice. Right back in the Massena zone. This time the Raiders control. Trying to move it ahead. Back to the Massena line. Picked up there by Whitcup. He'll flip it ahead. Bouncing puck, bouncing around. Finally, it's cleared to the Massena line. Picked up there by the Raiders. He'll move it ahead. And back to the Massena line it goes. Here's Labarge with it. Labarge from the red line. He'll dump it deep. Inside Indian River territory. Robbie Horton back after it. He flips it around on the other side to Pearson. Pearson banks it, not out of the zone. Here's an opportunity in front, and getting knocked down is Eugene. Stays with a puck. It bounces free, and where is it? Finally picked up by Indian River. Breaking out of the zone, here comes Robbie Horton. Stolen away from him. He'll have to circle back and pick it up. Cleared the zone. Raiders have to wait for the onsides as they're deep. They do clear the zone and dump it in the corner. Still 3-0 Massena in the third period. Bouncing puck controlled by the Warriors. They're just going to ice it, trying to get that man breaking free, but it was way ahead of him. And the whistle blows with 11:07 left in the third period and a 3-0 Massena lead.
Bonnie Castle ice surface, beautiful ice surface, fast ice, boards. This was a small rink until about 183 feet until about 2 years ago, and they lengthened it, put new ice in, new system, new boards. It's now regulation, and it's an excellent ice surface to play on.
We've got Mark Darling to take the face-off. He battles for it in the circle, can't find it in his skates, and it's picked up on the defense by McDonald. Darling tries to poke it away. McDonald moves by one Raider, then a second, and loses it right out by the blue line. Now comes back for it, now knocked away by Darling. Comes right back to McDonald. Darling got a piece of it. Good job by Mark Darling to put a lot of pressure on. Now the Raiders steal, and Darling's got it. Feeds it in front. Here's a backhander. Ooh, good save. His best save of the night for Hatfield on the backhander. Puck along the boards. Back to the point. Whitcup, or I should say Horan, clears it in the corner for Darling. Steps by the check. Here's Darling. He's got room in front. Feeds the shot. Here's the shot. The save. The rebound bounces in the slot. They bang for it. And holding on for the face-off is Hatfield. Mark Darling, where'd he come from?
Darling, Lanning, and O'Gene. Great shift out there. Darling trying to reciprocate. He set up Lanning with a great pass, and then Darling again, who set up Zeppi O'Gene in the slot 10 feet out. And Zeppi had Hatfield at his mercy, but he put one right in the belly button. But two good opportunities for the Raiders to get their fourth goal, but a great shift by that young line.
Absolutely. Tubolino out to take the draw. Battling for it in the corner. He gets tied up. It bounces free. Stays with it. Bouncing puck in behind. Now Jared Bradish gets to Tubi. Here's Tubolino. And, oh, man. Bradish just took one in the head. Lost his helmet. I don't think they're calling anything. I think they're just going to call a stoppage of play.
I think he got rubbed into the boards by Robbie Horton. Yeah, I don't believe there's a penalty on the play. I think it's just they stopped it for he was down, his helmet was off, and the face-off's going to come outside the TI blue line. But Jared Bradish going to the bench, and he's going to be replaced by
Jeremy Hadler.
Jeremy Hadler coming over the boards.
So Hadler will take the face-off. Tubolino will take the face-off. It trickles in. It's going to go right in on net, and covering up and holding on is Matt Hatfield. And anytime that puck comes anywhere near him, he just jumps on it.
Yeah, young Mr. Hatfield he's got ways to go. He's still learning, and he's at times been a little shaky out here tonight. The 3 goals that beat him weren't his fault, but he has some of those attempts. He's looked a little shaky. And he doesn't play his angles real well, and flops around in there.
There's a penalty on that play, by the way, as Indian River picked up a penalty. I'm not sure what it was for, but the Raiders are on the power play. Cameron back to the point, dumped in the corner, in behind the net, check thrown there, and Horton picks it up and feeds it down the ice. It'll go all the way into the Massena zone, and in the corner it goes. Back after it and getting to it first is Collins. Collins with a puck, but he loses it. And coming up with it is Evan Labarge. Labarge comes out from the left side. He'll flip on the wing to Hadler, who loses the puck. Back the other way comes McDonald. McDonald taking across, draws a crowd. McDonald takes it into the corner, just looking to waste some time. Finally, it's taken away. Now bounces back to the blue line. Now he gets it again and gets a shot off. It's wide. Now the puck bouncing in the corner. Flipped around behind the net. And it comes to Hadler at the blue line. Hadler flips it ahead. Raiders try to move it ahead. Knocked away again.
Who's got the power play?
Yeah, I know. We wonder who's got the power play. Labarge with it behind his own net. He'll flip on the 45. Raiders look to move it ahead and out to center ice. Pass back to Labarge. He'll start it ahead, looking for the wing. He's got a winger in Cameron. Cameron busting by, gets knocked off the puck, and it's back the other way and out to center ice. And now the puck is going to be picked up by Kleppies, and he's knocked away. There's going to be a penalty on Massena, but it's a good penalty because he would have had a breakaway.
That is a very good penalty. Evan Labarge is going to go to the box, and I'm sure Indian River might be yelling for a penalty shot here, but they're not going to get it. But Evan Labarge, the Indian River player, had a step on him.
It was Klepex, I think.
Klepex took a funny hop over the Raider defenseman's stick, and Klepex had a clear break to the goal, and Labarge turned the stick over and hooked him, but that goes in the category of a very good penalty.
Oh, boy. He would have had wide open to the net. Puck just cleared out of the zone by Massena off the face. Puck in behind the net now. Raiders after it. Jacob Whitcup. Whitcup doesn't clear. Here's a shot knocked down in front by a Massena skate. They just move it ahead, bounce it out to center ice. Now a power play for Indian River as they have the man advantage with 1:09 left in that power play. They move it back to the point. Here's a shot way wide. Puck whistles around to the 45 right side. Left side, I should say. Back to the point. Here's McDonald through traffic. We say makes the save. The rebound bouncing around in front, and it's picked up there by Matt Supernall. Can Supernall clear the zone? He cannot. Puck dumped back in the corner. Good save by We Say LaFrance. Now a battle for it in behind. Puck picked up by Klepex. Back to the 45. They move it around. They're going to look for McDonald at the point. No, they don't. Here's a shot through traffic. Went off somebody's backside. The Raiders clear it to the blue line. Not out of the zone. Supernall had a chance but couldn't quite get it. Here's a bouncer. Goes back to the point. And the whistle blows. There's a man in the crease. That was, let's see here, Justin Pearson, who's actually a defenseman. But he was taking up space in the crease, and he'll get called for it. That'll move the faceoff outside the zone.
We say LaFrance, good save. He probably didn't see the puck. Hit him high in the chest. Brandon McDonald from the point wristed a bullet, but LaFrance in the right spot.
Off the faceoff, bouncing puck comes to the red line. McDonald knocks it to the Massena blue line, and it's dumped in the zone. Puck goes in the corner. Back after it is Munson. He flips it around the boards. Knocked away from him, goes back in behind. Munson battles, can't quite come up with it, but Hadler does and finds the hole and dumps it down the ice on the backhand with 9 seconds left in the power play. McDonald in behind the net. Tubolino right on him, but the puck knocked away. Raiders get the man back, so we're back to full strength as it comes out to center ice. Dumped right back from the red line inside Indian River territory. Warriors try to move it ahead. Back out to the neutral zone, right back in. Raiders have to get onside, and they do. Puck picked up there by Robbie Horton. Horton flips it around on the other side. Knocked away, and a good play again by Jared Lanning. Lanning in the corner. Gets it free to Darling. Darling gets checked, trying to escape the check. He's got the puck, flips it to Lanning. Lanning out by the blue line, goes back to Darling. He's got free in front, shot, save made, and a good one. Another great play by this line of Massena's Lanning, Darling, and Zepiogene.
Darling started it all. He was tied up in the corner, but he got his stick on the puck and fed it out top of the circle to Lanning, and then he went to the net. Lanning put it right on his stick. Darling cut out in the slot. He had O'Gene off the crease. Again, if he goes to the corner, he beats the goaltender. He put it right at him.
Off the faceoff, puck in behind the net. Around the boards it goes. Kept in at the point by the Raiders. There's a battle. Here's a chance for Massena. Poke checked away as Matt Hatch couldn't quite come up with it. And back the other way comes Indian River, dumping it in the Massena zone. LaFrance leaving it there for Alan Borden. Borden flips it on the wing to Hadler, who just knocks it out to center ice. Dumped back to the Massena line. Picked up there by the Raiders. Head man pass doesn't quite get through. Here's an opportunity for Indian River as they cross the zone. Take it inside Massena territory. That's Klepex. Klepex flips it, intercepted by Hadler. He's got room, dumps it ahead off the boards, out to center ice. Bouncing puck at the blue line, stolen away. Here comes Hatch, battling for it. Matt Hatch in the corner, looks for Hadler. He's got Hadler. Hadler can't get the shot. It's knocked away, bouncing in front of the net. Here's an opportunity for the Raiders as the net's knocked off its moorings. And we're going to have a whistle and a face-off and another good opportunity for Massena.
Another penalty against Indian River. It's going to be another cross-check, I do believe. Let's see who gets the gate, but it's going to be number, I'm going to say 14. I'm going to guess 19 again.
Okay, we'll see.
Nope, 22.
22
is
Klepex.
Klepex, again, frustration down here, but good shift by that Raider line. 2 shifts in a row. A lot of buzzing. You know, and I was going to mention last confidence builder. Coach Latham had number 4 out there killing a penalty when the score was 2-0. You can't get, and he's just a freshman, young Mr. Supernall. That's got to be do a lot for his confidence.
They're going to move Adam Smith in to take the face-off. Off the draw, Smith trying to win the draw. He does not. And the puck comes back to McDonald, the big defenseman, and he'll dump it down the ice. LaFrance makes the stop, and that was a length of the ice shot, but right on. Raiders control the puck behind their own net. Here's the headman pass, trickled down the ice. That's going to be icing on Massena. And the Raiders on the power play look a little shaky.
Well, what they do when they come out from behind their own net, TI funnels them to one side. Well, what they've got to do is revert. Well, 9 out of 10 times, the Raider defenseman, wherever there's a puck, he brings it to that strong side, and the white shirts are right there. They've got to reverse it. He's got to go the other way where, it's unbalanced. There's no one on that side.
Dan Don to take the draw off the face-off. Puck bouncing in front of that. Raiders pick it up, flip it ahead, not out of the zone. Finally, it's out to center ice. Headman pass. They got a man breaking, and he overskated the puck. That was, who was that? Trying to get in there was Zeppi. Ogene. He just kind of overskated. Now the puck knocked away. Here's an opportunity for Eddie Slade. Slade behind the net, looks, sets it up. Centering pass intercepted. Now it comes up in the screen, and we'll have a face-off, probably around the top of the circle. Nice heads-up play by Slade, looking to pass.
And the Raiders are thinking, I'm sure, as they leave, as they come back, each shift, the coaching staff telling them we're thinking defense right now. We've got a 3-0 lead with 5:08 left. We don't need another one. Let's just, again, no odd man rushes.
Face-off. Left side in Indian River territory. Tubolino wins the draw, goes back to the point, but all the way out to center ice. Racing back after it is Jake Whitcup. Whitcup will drop it over on the other side, and Munson kind of mishandles it, has to flip it ahead to the blue line. Not out of the zone. Bouncing in the corner. Munson throws a check, gets knocked down. The puck cleared to center ice. Bouncing around there, right back in the Massena zone. Whitcup with it, picks it up. Whitcup looks up ice. He'll go across the other way. Here comes Massena, breaking ahead, intercepted again, and down the ice it goes. Inside Massena territory. After it is Jake Whitcup. Whitcup stops. He'll start left side. Raiders lead at 3-0. Comes back to the Indian River line, picked up there by the Warriors. Knocked away. Whitcup circles, has to wait for his wings to go on sides. He'll flip it ahead. Across the blue line, Cameron gets tied up. Bouncing puck, controlled by Indian River. 3-0 Massena. Puck bounces to the Massena line. Raiders come back the other way. Here's Tubolino, 1-on-2. Delay, a penalty. Oh, what a great move. Tubolino shot, save made. And holding on for the face-off is the goaltender, but there's going to be another penalty on Indian River. I didn't see that one either.
It's going to be Dan Don. He could call him for slashing. He could call him for cross-checking, interference. I don't know what he nailed Kyle Cameron right here, just inside the blue line.
I saw the aftermath. I saw Cameron on the ice, but I didn't see how it happened.
Kyle was forechecking him, and he took exception to him and just railed him. But referee Wayne Umel right on the spot, and Don is going to pick up a foolish penalty. 4:03 left in the period. And
somebody called a timeout.
Let's see who.
Horseback riding at one time.
Well, it's a very nice facility to play hockey in.
Hadler will take the face-off as Tubolino gets taken out of the circle, but Tubolino gets the puck off the draw. He'll just dump it in the corner. In behind the net, puck goes around the boards. And it's Hadler. He'll drop it into Cameron behind the net. Cameron kind of used the official as a pick, then kind of mishandled the pass. Goes back to Tubolino, though, behind the net. Back to the point. Here's Evan Labarge, waits, flips it along the boards, gets it right back again. Flips it in the corner, but it's knocked away. They're going to have a breakaway. Here comes Indian River on the breakaway. Shot, save made. Big save by LaFrance as it was 2-on-0.
That's right. It wasn't just a breakaway. It was 2-on-0 from the blue line.
Raiders back the other way. There's a battle at the blue line. Cameron comes up with a puck. He'll dump it in behind the net. Bouncing puck comes to Hadler. Hadler will flip it at the 45. Tubolino winds up. Shot, save, rebound. Battle for it. And holding on for the face-off is Matt Hatfield. Hatfield's gotten stronger as the game's gone on.
Again, Jerry, it's 3:10 left. You're up 3-0. You don't need four guys down below the circle, even though you're up 3-0 and you want to work on this power play. This is not the time to give up a shorthanded goal.
No, it is
get
not.
some fuel to the fire to the opposition. That time they had four guys below the dot, and the fifth guy was at the top of the circle.
And the puck is dumped down the ice off the draw. Here's a foot race for it. Olsen gets to it first, looks to center it, man in front, but it's knocked away by the nice play by Labarge. Labarge got knocked down and then had it knocked away, but he held on, got back up on his feet and picked it up. Under 3 minutes to play here. Raiders still lead it, but lose the puck in front of the net. Here's the shot in behind. Bouncing puck, Tubolino. He'll come up with it, looking. There's Tubolino, goes to Hadler. Hadler just dumps it in the corner. Bounces in behind the net. There's a battle for it. Cameron throws a check. Puck along the boards. We've got a penalty on Massena, and the whistle blows with 2:27 left.
It's Kyle Cameron's going to get a charge, but just prior to that, they missed one. As he came through the slot area, the TI player elbowed him and right in the head. And, of course, he retaliated, took a charge, nailed the guy in behind the net. But they usually catch the guy who does retaliate, but they missed one prior to that.
2:27 remaining in the third period. 3-0 Massena off the draw. McDonald for Indian River gets the puck knocked off his stick. Picked up there. Raiders will dump it ahead to the TI zone. Right back the other way comes Claypex. I keep saying that wrong. We have a whistle, and I think we got an icing call. The puck, again, they're not giving them the red line at all this season.
No, they're very adamant on that. No leeway, no grace period in there. If you don't make that red line, they're calling it. Usually they give you a foot or two sometimes.
Remember in the NHL, they give you what?
Well, they give you a yard.
3-0 Massena, 2:11 left in the third period. Off the faceoff, puck back to the blue line, then flipped into the corner. Controlled by Indian River. Hard check thrown there by Massena, though. Adam Smith. Smith in behind the net, putting some pressure on, throws a check. The puck still free in the corner. And Smith just doing a pretty good job forechecking. Trying to waste some time here. Puck goes into the corner and then back out to center ice to the Massena line. Flipped right back to the Indian River line. Bounces back to the Massena line. Picked up there by the Raiders. Coming back the other way. The puck just along the boards and into the corner. And back it goes. That was Patrick Horn making a nice play. Now the puck stolen by the Raiders. They look to, center it, as Whitcup was coming in from the point, but it was deflected at the last second. Now Whitcup will flip it behind the net for Trent Thomas. Thomas steps by the check, goes back to the point. Here's Whitcup. Whitcup over on the other side. Here's an opportunity. Shot fired wide. Rebound side of the net. Sharp angle opportunity for Thomas on the backhand, but he missed it. And now it's dumped out to center ice. Puck bouncing around with about 1:08 left to go in the third period. Here comes the Raiders. Whitcup makes a nice move across the blue line. Jake Whitcup skates it all by himself, and he goes behind the net. He just had any room. Centers it in the blue ice, the backhander, and the same rebound in the net. And getting the goal for Massena will be Jared Lanning.
Jared Lanning, what a night he's had. Great play by Jake Whitcup. He's going to get the assist as he brought it in the zone, in behind the net. Try to take a sharp angle. He didn't have enough room, so he cut in behind the net, and he found Lanning, who had about two guys parked right around him. He put it on Lanning's stick, made the shot. Hatfield made the first save, but gave up the rebound, and Lanning was persistent as he batted it home. So that's
he's had a heck of a game.
That's a goal and 2 assists for Jared Lanning, and that little icing on the cake as the Raiders
make it 4-0, and. Actually, after Massena picked up the penalty, they played better again. I think they were trying too hard to score another goal.
Well, I do agree with that. They got a little sloppy, a little careless there for a while, but with 55 seconds, I guess
we can put this in the W column.
Coach Latham can put this one, breathe a little easier.
Off the face-off, the whistle blows. I think we're going to have a bench penalty.
Yeah, we are.
Somebody said something on the bench.
And Wayne Humel did not take exception of it, and Eric Swenson, the TI coach, is.
I'm wondering what he could possibly be angry at.
He's got to be
except
more
his team.
I think that's what it is. He's frustrated at them, but it's his responsibility to. I don't think he's the guy that said something. I think it was a player, but he's taken exception to the official. But he's up. There he goes. He just got another one. He's gone now. I thought it was the guy that was in the penalty box when it was both. We got another one this period.
Okay. Hatfield's back in his net. We're down to about 54 seconds left. Klepex takes the face off. He'll face off against Darling. The Raiders win the draw here. They come again into the zone. In the corner it goes. After it is Ogene this time. Ogene centers it, but it's poke checked away out to center ice. Raiders Munson with it. Goes to Labarge, back to Munson, back to Labarge. Labarge just waiting for time to tick off. He'll finally flip it to Munson. Steps across the red line, dumps it deep in the zone. Racing in after it is Zepi Ogene. Ogene takes it behind the net. And in front is Mark Darling. Darling feeds it to OG, and it goes by him. Darling just got knocked down, and the net's off its moorings. So we'll have another whistle with 19 seconds left.
And Mark Darling trying to feed Zepio Jean out in front. He was wide open, but
I tell you
Darling
what,
was kind of hogtied by that defenseman.
Nothing wrong with that line, is there?
They've had some good shifts out there, and we know that, well, Darling's got a goal. We know Lanning's got 2 assists and a goal, and O'Gene's got at least 1 assist.
Yeah.
That's been a productive night.
Off the face-off, Raiders win the draw. Here's a chance in front, and they're not going to get a shot as the puck cleared to the blue line. Out to center ice. Kept in. Here's an opportunity. The drive by Munson, and it didn't get through. Bouncing puck in the corner. Darling with it. He gets double-teamed. Where's the puck? In the skates. As the buzzer sounds, the game ends. And the Raiders, we say LaFrance gets his first shutout. And I'll tell you what, he was there. He made the stops when Massena needed him, including that breakaway shorthanded.
You bet. We say LaFrance, not only his shutout, his first varsity game, and he gets a shutout, and he came up big at the right time. And the Raiders are all over him, and we say came out through his stick, hands in the air. I love to see that.
Excellent game for the Massena Red Raiders. And